Shalom, Pasadenans and all Omer counters at sea. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, delighted to be counting day number 41 of the Omer with you. If my math is correct, and it sometimes is, that means you've already done 40 days and 40 nights of the Omer. So day 41 is almost like a new beginning, even though we're almost done. It makes me think about something, and I'll encourage you to think about this. Imagine if you were on Noah's Ark. Maybe you're Noah. Maybe you're a member of Noah's family. Maybe you're one of the animals. I always thought I would make a good platypus. I'm kind of weird, but totally adorable. But imagine if you're on that ark and it's the day that the rain stopped. After 40 days and 40 nights of constant pouring, it just stopped. And you get to go out on the deck for the first time in a while. Probably smells a lot better out there. And you take a deep breath. And everything is calm. The sky is calm. The sea is calm. By sea, I mean the entire planet. Everything is peaceful. And look, your journey is not done. It takes a lot more time for the water to recede, for people to feel comfortable going out on land. The ducks and amphibians might get a head start, but everybody has to wait a little while longer before the journey is over. But for right now, you can appreciate what you've been through, you can appreciate what you've accomplished, and you can appreciate the peace. We're in the same spot. You've done amazing work over the last 40 days, and now then some. We got a little bit more work to do before we're ready to receive Torah on Shavuot. But for right now, I want you to appreciate where you are, who you are, what you have. Take a deep breath. And let's keep learning. This week, we're talking about the divine attribute of Yesod, or foundation. Sometimes we've talked about foundation in the context of origin stories. What's our narrative that brought us to this point? Sometimes we talk about it in terms of connection or support. Yesterday, I shared with you what it may not be the most entertaining story of our tradition as far as origin stories go, but the one that I think is the most important to our foundation as an ethical monotheistic people. Today, I want to come back from the grand sweep of history and focus on you. What is your origin story? And I don't necessarily mean summarize the entire autobiography of your life from birth up to this point. What I want you to think about instead is what were some pivotal moments that made you who you are today and shape your vision for the future. I always think of the examples of comic book heroes, like Superman is Superman because Superman came from another planet. That planet got destroyed. He was saved by his parents to come to a new planet. Turns out on the new planet, he's stronger than everybody. And realizing that, he could have gone a lot of different directions in his life. But instead, he decides to use his powers for good, for helping people, and he gets a cape out of it. Spider-Man is a struggling teenager who's really into photography, and then he gets bitten by a science experiment and sticks to stuff. At first, he just wants to use those powers to make money, in the wrestling ring, to beat up bullies. He thinks, I'm not responsible for anybody else except myself. And then something happens to his uncle, and he realizes he could have prevented it. And so, likewise, he uses his powers, his backstory, for good. And look, those are fantasy stories, and I'm not asking you to be a superhero. I'm willing to bet there are some formative experiences in your life who made you who you are, and learning from those experiences, maybe you've taken some hard things and made good out of it. And maybe not necessarily hard knocks like having your planet blown up or something, but you had some examples in the past or experiences of your own that have taught you the path that you want to be on. And that is how your origin story shapes your present and your future. So today, I want you to think about your origin story. And if it helps, imagine that your life is a comic book or a Marvel Universe movie or something like that. And some big space bad guy, Thanos, I don't know, is coming and says, okay, Earth, I'm going to come give you some trouble. You're all going to have to pitch in to stop me. How could I pitch in to stop Thanos? Well, I don't have an iron suit and I don't have mutant superpowers, but I'm super good at calling page numbers and telling dad jokes in a synagogue. Okay, maybe I'm projecting. How do I use that power to contribute to the effort to stop Thanos? And by the way, those number and joke powers didn't come from a meteor accident. No, from the time I was a little kid and my parents taught me how to read from using Mad Magazine. That really set the stage for me developing a sense of humor or the appreciation for humor. Also, even though I was a very shy kid, I gravitated toward performative spaces. Like I was a no-neck monster in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof when I was like 8 years old. and got into theater and choir and things like that as a way that I could entertain people on stage, even though I was a very shy person. And when I decided to devote my life to service rather than to my personal economy, I thought, how do I use these powers of humor and projection to the back of the room and my love of learning and my love of Judaism and continue to develop those in a way that serves people? 5 years of seminary later, I got my cape. Well, it's more of a hat, really. So that's my origin story. Reading Mad Magazine and comic books, getting comfortable in front of people, entertaining people, but also teaching people and learning a lot of Torah. And now, God forbid, when Thanos comes to attack the earth, no iron suit, no mutant powers. But if they need somebody to call page numbers and get together and study Torah to figure out the right next move, I'm there. And who knows, maybe Thanos really hates page numbers. So my question of the day is, what is your origin story? What are those pivotal moments that weave into the narrative that have made you who you are, given you the gifts that you have that you can contribute to the world, and shape how you want to live your life and contribute to your community in the future? So think about that for a moment while you take a deep breath like you're coming up on decks after 40 days and nights of rain. Realize what you've accomplished so far, not only in counting the Omer, but throughout your life. Take a second to jot your thoughts down in the Facebook group and the YouTube comments, in your journal, or send me an email if you like to. And don't forget to count day number 41 of the Omer tonight after sundown. Until day 42, friends, peace.